Smurls their house was just old, that the noises were pipes, the cold drafts were the wind, and the shadows were tricks of tired eyes. But when a house starts to punch you in the shoulder at night, just old stops being an explanation and becomes a crime scene. On a spring night in 1986, a kitchen light fell from the ceiling without a touch. That was only the beginning. The Smurl family, Jack, Janet, and their daughters, believed something evil lived with them. This isn't a movie. This was real life. Their modest home in West Pittston, Pennsylvania, became a place where fear had weight. At first, there were small disturbances, knocks, cold spots, flickering lights. The family laughed it off, as people do when faced with little horrors. But then, the small things grew hands. Bruises appeared. Voices whispered their names. When the walls began to breathe, they called in help. First, the church, and finally, Ed and Lorraine Warren, the infamous demonologists. What the Warrens found was beyond explanation. Furniture levitated, crosses turned upside down, and invisible forces clawed the family's skin. At times, laughter filled the rooms. Not human laughter, but something distorted, like a tape played backward. Janet Smurl claimed she was assaulted by an unseen entity. Her husband said he saw a black shape hovering above their bed. It reeked of sulfur and hate. Skeptics blamed stress, hysteria, or even plumbing. But fear has a scent, and it filled that house. The Warrens attempted blessings, prayers, and exorcisms, but each ritual seemed to enrage the entity. The house became a battlefield between faith and something far older than faith. Then came the night of the last rites. Priests gathered under thunderous skies. Candles flickered, prayers echoed, and the temperature dropped as if the house itself inhaled. Lorraine prayed louder. Ed read scripture until his voice broke. Doors slammed shut, walls groaned, and shadows twisted like living things. Janet screamed as unseen claws raked her arm. For one heartbeat, the air crackled, and the house seemed to breathe out, a terrible, heavy exhale. Then silence. The Smurls thought it was over, but evil rarely leaves quietly. Days later, whispers returned. The priest who'd led the rite claimed something lingered, not one spirit, but many, knotted together in rage. The family finally moved, leaving behind the house and their sanity. Neighbors reported strange lights and noises for years. Some said the house sat empty because no one could live there long. The Warrens closed their case, but not their fear. The story was written, recorded, and remembered. A haunting so cruel it inspired The Conjuring, Last Rites. Real or not, one thing is certain: terror leaves a trace. Maybe that's why, late at night, when the wind moves just right, the old house still sighs, like it's waiting for someone new to come home. If you found this unsettling, good. Real horror doesn't come from monsters. It comes from the moment you realize something wants you, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. If you want more true stories of hauntings, mysteries, and things the dark refuses to forget, subscribe to Real Stories. Turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and remember, some houses don't want to be lived in. They want to keep you forever